way will lead to good results if you're dealing with people who know what they're doing. And this is gold for people who are looking to start up a crowdfunding platform, because now we're giving you another resource to get it done the right way.
Absolutely. So driving the right quality traffic is the key. I can drive traffic all day. If it's not the right person, it's pointless.
Yeah, we see that all the time.
Let me ask you this, Caleb. Are you driving them to some existing equity crowdfunding platforms, or is part of your approach to drive them to a separate landing page?
Yeah, we partner with different clients that have different needs. Some have their own landing pages that have all of the appropriate back end to an escrow account where they don't need a crowdfunding platform. And we also partner with crowdfunding platforms that want us to drive traffic, and issuers that are posted on crowdfunding platforms to drive traffic to their specific page for investors to transact. So the whole spectrum, and whatever the client's need is, we sit down, we listen, we brainstorm, we refine, and then we execute.
And I'm thinking, Caleb, I don't think you just take on any new client. You have to feel that they've got something that can emotionally connect to an investor base, that they've got some product or service that's doable, maybe disruptive in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. Give me an idea of a company what's a great referral for you? I mean, what's too small, and what do people need to understand if they're doing business with you? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm approached by a lot of entrepreneurs that have some great ideas, and sometimes those ideas are groundbreaking. They are very disruptive. They could scale to a multi-billion-dollar company, and they need capital, and they need to have that story told. And then we have other companies that have an idea, and maybe I don't feel that I would be the best person to market that idea, because it may not be the kind of sizzling story, disruptive opportunity that the investing community that I know would take to. I'm very open and honest with my prospects about our sentiment toward their particular case, and we always give them a 1 to 10 scale on how we feel we would do with their marketing campaign. Now, I'll be clear that we're not financial analysts, and we're not going and really assessing the viability and the risk, but I'll be transparent with the entrepreneur and tell them how well I think we could do with their story.
So when you scale 1 to 10, what number do I have to get up to do business with you? Well, is it 7? Can I do business with you if I reach 7 or 8, or what's the magic?
I have told entrepreneurs that I would give them a 7 out of 10 as far as the viability for success with the investment community, and they have said that they feel comfortable with the risk and the potential reward, and they've hired me, and it has been a success. And sometimes it's much more of a success than I anticipated, and everybody's happy. Other times I tell them I believe it's a 7, they feel comfortable, they'll hire us, and then it's a 7, which is 70%. And it's not a home run, but as long as we're open, we're honest, and we show all of the accountable advertising techniques that we're using, we can show them this is how much we spent in marketing, this is how many people we got to get to your page, this is how many people clicked the investment button, but they didn't end up converting. And now that's the question. Why didn't they convert? Well, we can go through a lot of assumptions from there, but we always deliver all of our clients all of the accountable metrics so they can make the determination. Did we do our job? And being in business for 40 years, we don't have very many complaints from people once we deliver them all of the data and metrics generated from our advertising.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Now, let me ask you this question. We're finding that a lot of companies, everybody loves the concept of Reg A plus, to where they can get up to $50 million on Tier 2, and that's going to raise. We know that. My question to you is, we're finding companies that are taking advantage of a Reg CF, which can raise up to $1,070,000, and they're looking at that as the bridge, the bridge capital, if you will, or the bridge to how they can fund a Reg A plus. Is that a market that you're working with as well to help get them to where they got to go to get to the Reg A, or is it just your focus is just higher dollars and the Reg A market alone?
I would say that I'm primarily focused on Reg A and Reg D 506Cs.
Okay, 506,
the Reg CFs,
okay.
I have taken on as special cases when their vision is to raise that $1 million and then turn around and file for a larger raise. So we can kind of tier the investment rounds and at higher valuations as well. So we have essentially a seed round for the Reg CF, then we turn around and have a larger round at a higher valuation for Reg A plus, and then they apply to go public, or they would go
and let me ask you this: if I'm correct, they can run two campaigns at the same time. So somebody can run a Reg CF and a 506. Am I correct?
Yes, you can.
And so does your marketing encompass both strategies at the same time, or is that separate?
We haven't had a client focus on both at the same time, just based off of what we've had the opportunity to work on. I haven't run into that situation.
Okay.
Would I do it if I were the entrepreneur? Absolutely. Why exclude the non-accredited investor when a Reg CF is so simple to put together? The Reg D 506C laws ask that you verify and make your best efforts to only advertise to accredited investors. If you happen to attract somebody that's not in that advertising, you happen to also have a Reg CF, and then there's a solution.
Very good. We're talking, if you're just tuning in, you got to get to the beginning of this recording, but we're talking with Caleb Huey, who's a VP of Creative Strategy at the Creative Direct Marketing Group. In fact, they can be found at CDMGinc.com, and there's so much you can learn about this company. Let me ask you this, Caleb. I want to start working with you. You like what we're about. You can help us. What kind of budgets do I got to put in place? I mean, marketing. It takes marketing. I got to put up money if I'm going to go after somebody. Give me some idea what I should be working with.
Well, historically, our agency has a $50,000 minimum, which for these companies in this space is quite high. So when we are working with a Reg A plus, typically they will have that budget reserved to begin their marketing, and then it becomes a game of metrics to spend money on marketing, look at the return on investment in terms of investment dollars brought in, and then reinvesting funds back into the marketing as long as we're scaling at a cost per capital that the entrepreneur is happy with. When we're working with a Reg CF, that's where it becomes a special situation. Typically, a Reg CF company doesn't have a $50,000 marketing budget, and we'll go much smaller to see if we can scale slow, methodical, tracking the analytics very, very slowly and methodically to make sure that we have the right kind of cost of capital. And then once we've completed the $1 million raise there, hopefully they'll move toward filing for their Reg A plus, and we'll have a larger opportunity to advertise them.
Yeah, Ron Costa, you just amazed me that you're able to attract these kind of companies onto your podcast. To have this, we're talking one of the top direct marketing groups that use metadata, which is great information. There's just so much to talk about with Caleb. Caleb, I think that as we get close to ending this one part, and certainly would love to have you back for part 2, and we can figure out what that's all about. But is there any, without mentioning names, can you give us a success story over the last couple of months that you've been able to pull off from some company that came to you and said what they said, and you did what you did, and they went from what to what? Could you share something with us?
Absolutely. So I like to think about the advertising as an investment and then looking at the dollars that have come in as a return ratio. So for every dollar spent in marketing, how many dollars do you get back in new investment capital? And some entrepreneurs are happy if they spend $1 to get 2. Some are happy if they spend $1 to get 5. And some are happy only if they spend $1 and get more than 10. So my last campaign, I was able to bring a struggling funder from a $3 3 to 1, I should say, is the return ratio. $3 of investment capital for every dollar spent in marketing. And I was able to bring them up to an $8 to 1.
Wow, nice. That's great.
Ratio. Yeah.
Great.
And I believe we could do better. I have some of my most successful campaigns have been up to $20 for every dollar spent in marketing. The investment market is a bit different from selling a product. People might be inclined to invest $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 if they really believe in the idea. Usually a product doesn't cost $5,000 to $20,000. So if you're selling a product, your return ratio, if you will, is much lower than one of these investment campaigns where we can get this high payout. So we track all of those metrics. We deliver them to our clients, and if we're able to measurably show you that we're increasing and bettering your return ratio, then usually the client is happy to keep working with us until they're fully subscribed for their offering.
Yeah, and Caleb, before we go, I have one extra question for you. I was on your website before, the one that Ron mentioned, CDMGinc.com. I noticed you guys write a blog there, and one of your blog posts was how companies can raise capital by going directly to investors. Yes. And one of those items you mentioned was doing video. How important is video these days in terms of conveying a message? Is that like your biggest converter, would you say?
Video generates a great response online. So I always create a video to accompany a campaign. I'll embed it on the landing page, and I usually do it as an explainer video with infographics and text that are engaging the prospect to continue reading and listening and showing them graphically what we're talking about. We've found that when we put the text with a voiceover, we have far more retention than a talking head, than a person looking into the camera talking to you. We don't know why, but based on our metrics, that's how the marketplace is reacting. So that's what we're producing. And we use that video in a number of ways. If we're buying media on Facebook, it's a video that automatically is playing in somebody's newsfeed, and they can see the text. Usually we have a much better click-through rate because they are engaging and they are going to want to hear what it's saying, so they click to listen to what it's saying. We use the video on the landing page, like I had mentioned, and then we can also use it for pre-roll advertising online. So if you've ever been to YouTube and you have to sit through a commercial before you watch the content that you're trying to watch, that's us. We do a lot of pre-roll.
That's you guys, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Really interesting stuff. This is great.
Yeah, and by the way, I'd just like to mention, if it's okay, but Greg Huey, who is the father who started the business, has a book. It's called 23 Equity Crowdfunding Secrets to Raising Capital. And it's by America's #1 authority on marketing to investors. So for those of you that are really liking this, I mean, you're probably saying, wow, this guy Caleb sounds really sharp. You got to get the book. And Caleb, did you put a book together too or not?
No. So with my research and a lot of his experience, we put that book together. But it's from his voice and his perspective on everything that we've done here. And obviously I've contributed some of the content, but it is his. So and he has 30 years of experience on me. So I'm happy to listen to him.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So if people want to connect with you, look, we already know they can go to CDMGinc.com, right? We know they can go there. Can they call you? Would you like to? You want them to reach you by anything else, or just go directly to the website?